Good evening. Welcome to the Art and Culture Center Hollywood's Art of Wine, Sip, Swirl, and Savor fundraiser. Thank you all for joining us tonight as either a sponsor or a ticket buyer. We're grateful. How we came up with this event is that our Board of Trustees brainstormed in January and February. What are some interesting fundraisers that we could then offer the community that would be engaging and quite different? So we came up with Art of Wine. And I'd like to thank Ben Wesley, our board chairman, as well as Shelley Lose, executive committee member at large, who were instrumental in the beginning of this event, as well as to all the other board members who assisted us in those brainstorming efforts. A huge shout out to all of our performers, as well as individuals who assisted us in tonight's event. And I'm going to start off with our special guest performer, and that's Phil Dunlap, Broward Cultural Division's director. Sherry Gurman, our sommelier, who then shared her tasting notes as well as with the food pairings. Shaker Reddy, owner of Hollywood Discount Liquors, who supplied the Ulat wines. Board member Anna Smith, who contributed the wine bags. Gratitude to Artisan Foods Catering, who prepared the delicious food that you're probably enjoying right this moment. And a big shout out to the terrific team here at the Art and Culture Center who was instrumental in putting together tonight's event that's happening right now. With me in this room that's behind the scenes is Yvette Wasserman, our design and web manager, Jackie Ramirez, our administrative and development coordinator, and Leo Sarmiento, our communications and partnerships director. Thank you all. For those of you who are not familiar with the Art and Culture Center, this is the building behind us that we're located in. We opened our doors in 1975 on Hollywood Beach. We moved to this particular facility that you see behind me in 1992 and have been here ever since. We're celebrating our 46th anniversary year. We're the third oldest nonprofit arts organization here in Broward County. We operate from this particular facility that you see behind me, where our contemporary art galleries are and our administrative offices. We also have an art school that's next door. And then we manage the 500-seat theater about 2.5 blocks away called the Hollywood Central Performing Arts Center. And our future is very bright. As part of the City of Hollywood's general obligation bond that passed in March 2019, there was some monies that were allocated to the City of Hollywood to build a new arts education building for us, which is going to be adjacent on the west side of this particular facility that will adjoin the existing 1924 home, 5,500 square feet of programming spaces along with a courtyard. Will actually be 100 years apart from the 1924 structure to when this building is finished. So it's quite exciting times. We offer year-round arts programming for ages 4 and up. We offer unique contemporary art exhibitions that you only see here at the Art and Culture Center. We also offer performing arts programs over at our theater, as well as we make it available to community arts organizations. Pre-COVID, we served about 45,000 people a year. On to recognition of our Beaujolais sponsors. I'm going to move over to this side. And that's Florida Power and Light, the center's board chair, Ben Wesley and Juliet Rolick. Thank you both. Kofsky Weinger, PA, our past board chair, as well as current board secretary, and that's Misty Weinger and David Kofsky, longtime supporters of the Art and Culture Center and very near and dear to my heart. Thank you. Memorial Healthcare System, Malene Espinosa and Tim Curtin, who serves as our board treasurer. And terrific board member, Lori Schechter. So thank you very much for all of our Beaujolais sponsors. On to the Chianti sponsors. And our first one I'd like to recognize is A Superior Towing. And that's Sean and Sue Lascalzo. Public Supermarket Charities, and that's Kelly Puccio Williams. Then we move on to our ReHopa sponsors, Billy Stone Crab's board member, Elena Hershey and Brian Hershey, the Car Concierge, Mark Vesey, Firm Realty, Robin Robbins, Pest Pro Riddall, the Honorable Kevin Biederman. So thank you all to our sponsors. We so appreciate your support. We also have a silent auction occurring tonight during the event that's only occurring just tonight. So you want to bid, and you're going to put your bid in the chat button. And I'm going to move over here to item number 1, which Ed Blakely of Quincentennial Wines generously donated this 3-bottle basket of red wine. It's a bottle of 2006 Côte del Sol Cabernet Sauvignon, a bottle of 2017 Hidden Asset, which is a red blend, and a bottle of Geyser's Peak 2017 Walking Tree Cab. The value is $85, minimum bid $65. If we would like for you to bid in $20 increments, please. And you could do that right in that check area. And then Jackie will then note down your bid. Now we're moving on to item number 2, which was then generously given to the center by a generous anonymous donor. So thank you very much. A 1-liter bottle of Camus 2019 Cabernet Sauvignon Napa Valley. That value is $125. We're asking for the minimum bid to be $100 and also in $20 minimum bid increments. And on to our 3rd item, and that's Cooper's Hawk 3-month wine club membership and a 1.5 liter of Meritage wine, which was generously donated by Cooper's Hawk Winery and Restaurant. So the value of that is $102, minimum bid $80, and we ask for $20 increments. And as I shared, this event is only going on tonight, the silent auction, and put your bids in the chat, and Jackie will be monitoring it, and I will be announcing it at the end of the evening. So at this time, I'd like to thank everybody again for participating and being with us tonight for the event. We hope that you enjoy the wines. We hope you enjoy the foods. We hope you enjoy the performance by Phil. We hope you enjoy Sherry's expert knowledge. And with that, I would like to introduce then Ben Wesley, the Center's Board Chair. Ben?
Thanks, Joy. And thanks everyone for joining us this evening. We really appreciate your support and your generosity. And I think you're really going to enjoy the wine and the food tonight. I also have the pleasure of introducing our special guest, Sherry Gurman. She's our sommelier for this evening. She runs the American Fine Wine Competition. I happen to be a wine lover, and the best wines that I've ever had have been at her events. So I was thrilled that she agreed to select the wines for this evening and to run us through the tastings. I think we're all in for a really special treat. Take it away, Sherry.
Hey, Ben, thank you so much for that introduction. You know, you and I have worked together a long time, and I appreciate it, and I thank you for inviting me to be a part of this, and also to everybody who's participating. Thank you for supporting the Art and Culture Center Hollywood. So we're here with Marina. I'm here with Marina. Hi. Or we're here. And we're going to pour a couple of wines for you today. First, I want to introduce Marina. Marina has been working with me almost 2 years now? Over 2 years?
So a little bit.
Over 2 years.
Almost 2 years, yeah.
I started the American Fine Wine Competition 14 years ago. And it's been a real journey for me. I did it because I love wine and I couldn't afford it. How do you get what you love? Work for it, you know? So I started the American Fine Wine Competition 14 years ago and have never, ever had an employee. And finally, at this point, we are getting to where we're actually starting now 3 competitions. So we have the Invitational, which is what's been going on for 14 years. We have the Rosé, which is going into its 4th year. And we just started this year All Americas.
Yeah.
And Marina is so amazing. Just graduated FIU as as an intern, and we hired her. So she's my first employee. Marina's she's from Brazil. She knows her wines. She's passionate, and we love working together.
Yes.
And a little bit about the wines. We're going to be tasting Outlook today. The Outlook is a small winery. They produce only 4 wines. They do a Sauvignon Blanc, a Cabernet, a Chardonnay, and a Rosé, which I hope will be in the competition. And we're going to start with a little bit of this Sauvignon Blanc. You guys should all have your bottles open, I hope. All right, this is easy. When you see a screw top, it's not a bad thing. It's a great thing. You'll never get a cork bottle, and you'll never break the cork, and you can just do it super fast and be done with it. So Outlook wines are a tribute to Sonoma's rich agricultural heritage. The grapes are from various parts of Sonoma, which each area, when you think about grapes, certain grapes grow well in certain areas. And Outlook figured out how to do that, which is very nice because they've also created a fairly affordable bottle, and they've done it without scouring all of California. They've focused on certain areas where the grapes are growing well for that particular wine. For example, the Cabernet, which we'll get to later, the grapes are from Alexander Valley, great place for Cabernet in Sonoma. The Sauvignon Blanc, we are in, that's very funny, we're also in Sonoma. All over Sonoma, they grow, Sauvignon Blanc grows very well. In fact, Sauvignon Blanc grows well just about anywhere in the world. So that actually, one of the things about Sauvignon Blanc different from all other grapes is that, and a lot of them can be grown everywhere. You've seen Cabernet and Chardonnay coming from California and France and Australia and Chile, but Sauvignon Blanc, and some of them grow great. Sauvignon Blanc grows great pretty much anywhere you put it. New Zealand, France, Chile, where do I have, South Africa, Moldavia, I've never been there. Also all over the US, Australia, you know. Tasting wine. Oh, this is kind of fun.
Yeah.
You know what? Thank you for letting us do this. We always want an excuse to taste a little wine. So let's grab our Sauvignon Blanc glass. All right. What do? We have 5 senses, right? And tasting wine actually seriously uses 4 of them, although we have figured out, and it wasn't really us, it was many years ago, they figured out how to use your 5th sense. So basically we start with swirling. We look at the wine, we see it, right? We look at the color of it. If it's very light, it's probably a light tasting wine. It's very dark, it's probably a heavier tasting wine. So Sauvignon Blanc's generally light, acidic, grassy. Anyway, so we're looking at it, right? And we swirl it, and what do? We sniff it, right? We look for the nuances in the wine. What are you getting on this?
Tropical fruits.
Oh, I'm gonna go there.
Passion fruit.
Okay.
A little bit of pineapple as well.
I'm getting a pineapple. I can get that. Are you guys getting pineapple? Look for it. Sometimes it's too cold. Sometimes you might have to go like this and bring it to temperature a little bit. Sometimes we drink white wine too cold and red wine too warm. So we don't want to do that. So maybe we bring it up a little bit. Okay. So yeah, I can see the pineapple. That was a good one.
Yeah. I think a little bit of lime as well.
A little bit of lime.
Yeah.
Okay. So citrusy, which is very typical of Sauvignon Blanc. And we've got, so we've felt it. We're using our touch, our sense of touch, right? Because we're picking up the glass and we're holding it. We are smelling it. We are swirling it. When we're looking at it, that's part of the seeing part. We're gonna taste it, right? Let's do that. So we're going through, right? So we have our sense of touch, right?
Mm-hmm.
We see it. We smell it, which is really fun. Most of our taste buds are in our nose. Sometimes you don't even have to drink wine to taste it. Imagine, think about it. If you have a cold, you can't smell, right? You can't taste either. All right. So again, we have touch, see, smell, sip. How do we use our ears? Cheers.
Cheers.
That's how you use your ears. We have a really nice platter of food here. Pairing wine, drinking wine alone is wonderful, and there's certain wines you can do that with, but a lot of wines really call for food. And it makes everything taste better. It makes the wine taste better, it makes the food taste better. And so we have this beautiful platter of this very Mediterranean dish, which is beautiful for Sauvignon Blanc. I think we should taste something. What do you want to try?
Should we start with cheese?
Sure.
And meat?
Sure. Do we have a goat cheese? Oh, you know what we have here? There's a goat cheese in here. I think it's a almond crusted goat cheese, which I think goat cheese and Sauvignon Blanc is an awesome combination. Let's just take a little piece of that. You guys do it too. See what you think. They were pretty sweet. That's a sweet goat cheese, but you know what? That's delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Now you taste that. Take a sip of your wine. I know I make noise when I sip, but I bring in air. And the reason I do that is because it opens up the wine a little bit more in your mouth. You actually get more flavor on your tongue if you bring a little bit of air in. Try not to dribble. I've done that. I've seen you do that. That's a nice pairing. It's a little sweet. I think, you know what's even better? If you go right in the middle, just take out the goat cheese. Try it again. It's nice. I think these other cheeses would work nice too. Are you guys enjoying? Is the food good? Is the wine good? I think so.
We love it.
That's a good cheese. I hope you guys are drinking and eating and not just watching us right now. By the way, if you have any questions at all, you can write a little note. Send me a note and I'll respond to you. Not live, not now because I'm eating and drinking, but I will. So what else do we have on this platter that might be fun? We have a roasted eggplant. You want to try that? Let's see what that's like. That's pretty flavorful. That's a lot of, I think that will go better with the cab, you know? Yeah, I think what happens is you never want to have your food too heavy. You want to kind of have an equal footing on your wine and your food. If you've got heavy food, have a heavy wine. If you've got lighter food, have a lighter wine. And in this case, Sauvignon Blanc is lighter, so maybe the falafel. Maybe the other cheese. So a little bit about Sauvignon Blanc is it was originated in the Loire Valley of France, but it sort of moved its way over to Bordeaux, which is really where we know it from. I mean, it is originated in Loire, but it moved to Bordeaux where it grows magnificently, and in fact, the epitome of a Sauvignon Blanc grown in Bordeaux. So this is what, about $15 or $20 a bottle? Sauvignon Blancs are generally, if you find one for more than $40 or $50, it's shocking. That's a lot of money. However, having said that, if you go into Bordeaux where the great Bordeaux grapes are grown and where they take this beautiful Sauvignon Blanc and they sometimes blend, not sometimes, almost always blend it with Semillon, they charge a little bit more, although it's less expensive to grow Sauvignon Blanc than a lot of other grapes, I'll tell you that. However, this one particular one, and you guys, if anybody saw the movie Sideways, they talked, no, that was different, that was Cheval Blanc, never mind. But this is a Chateau Haut-Brion from the Bordeaux region. White wine, looks a lot like this, different label obviously, $1,000 a bottle. So Sauvignon Blanc can be very, very expensive, not here in the US. I don't think you're going to find a bottle more than $50 or $75. Most expensive you'll find here. It's a really nice drinking wine, good for every day, normally not very expensive, very reasonable and easy to pair with food. So Sauvignon Blanc makes its way over to Bordeaux, and somehow it crossed with a grape you may have heard of, Cabernet Franc. Cabernet Franc, a red grape, originated in Bordeaux. Well, the two of those plants crossed and they bred another grape, which we're going to try later. That was the Cabernet Sauvignon. So a white wine this was the mom, the Cab Franc was the dad, and that's the baby. Enjoy.
Well, Sherry, Marina, cheers.
Cheers.
Very nice. So thank you for that little lesson and little tidbits.
Pleasure.
So appreciate it. And thank you all again for joining us. And at this time, it gives me great pleasure to introduce our special performer this evening, and that's Phil Dunlap. Phil Dunlap is the director of Broward County's Cultural Division and is responsible for the county's local arts agency with an annual budget of about $10 million, as well as who I consider a good friend. So thank you, Phil, for donating your time tonight.
Cheers, Phil.
Cheers, exactly right. What I find hugely interesting about Phil is he served as a cultural envoy for the U.S. Department of State and has taught and performed in Afghanistan, Guyana, and Thailand. He presently serves on the board of the Jazz Education Abroad, an internal jazz education nonprofit. He holds a Bachelor of Music in Jazz Performance and Piano, a Bachelor of Music in Music Theory, Composition, and a Master of Music in Jazz Performance from Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville. Thank you so much again, Phil. Cheers. Appreciate your time and your volunteerism to the Art and Culture Center. Enjoy Phil's performance.
Cheers. Cheers.
Thank you, Joy. My name is Phil Dunlap. Some of you may know me as Director of the Broward County Cultural Division, a supporter of the Art and Culture Center Hollywood. Some of you also know or may not know that I'm also a jazz pianist, and I'm happy to be here in support of the Art and Culture Center Hollywood. It's actually one of the oldest arts organizations here in Broward County, so thank you all for being here. I'm going to play a couple songs for you And this first song is a great jazz standard by Thomas Fats Waller. It's entitled Ain't Misbehavin'. Thank you all for listening. I'm going to turn it back over to Sherry, and Sherry's going to tell you about one of our other great wines that you're going to be enjoying. I believe it's the Ulat Cabernet Sauvignon, and actually I'm going to go get a glass of that for myself before the other song. So we'll see you in just a second.
Phil, that was awesome. That was really, really awesome. Thank you. You know, wine and music do go together. I actually always thought that. I just forget to play it sometimes, but thank you, Phil. Oh, listen, all of you guys too, you know that there's an auction going on, a silent auction going on right now. There are wine items, and it's on the website, and you got to bid, because we're here for a reason. Besides drinking great wine, eating great food, listening to beautiful music, we also are raising money for the Art and Culture Center Hollywood. So please do that. And there's some good items.
Soon, because it's closing soon, by the end of the program.
Yes. So now we're going to drink some Cab. So I'm sure you guys pulled your cork already, right? Because otherwise we'll beat you. Anyway, out loud again. This is a 2017 Cabernet Sauvignon. And it's from Alexander Valley. You know, Cabernet Sauvignon can be very, very expensive. And why is that? Why is that? Why is Cabernet so expensive?
Because of demand.
Demand and price of the vineyards. So in last couple of years, and the price of the price of land is very, very high, depending on where you are. If you're in Washington, probably not nearly as high as when you're in California, but getting very close. Different parts of California are more expensive. So for example, in Napa Valley, it's probably about $10,000 an acre, some ridiculous amount of money just to grow grapes. It's not an acre, it's a small plot of land.
Yeah. For a ton.
For a ton, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. For a ton of grapes, of Cabernet grapes, that can cost about $10,000. Merlot is about 1/3 of that, or 1/4 of that even. So generally it's demand. People love Cabernet, makes the blend more expensive, makes the bottles more expensive. But again, this outlook is pretty good. It's grown in Healdsburg, less expensive than Napa. In fact, if you've ever been out to California wine country, if you've been to Napa, if you take Highway 29, which is the main road, where I go there, I've probably been there 150 times. Every time I go, it's like the first time. I'm telling you, it's like a kid in a candy store.
Yeah.
You went with me last
I
time.
did. First time.
And it was
It
fun.
was amazing.
It was
Yes.
amazing. If you drive all the way up as far north as you can go in Napa Valley, it bears off to the right, and you go to Lake County, which again is another area region that's not as well known, and you can get good value over there. Or you can go a little bit to your east, and to your west, and that is Healdsburg, and that's where these grapes are from. Healdsburg grows beautiful Cabernet, and they also do great Zinfandel. And if you just cringe because I said Zinfandel, I'm not talking about the pink stuff. Zinfandel's a red grape, and it's delicious. We just had a Zinner dinner.
We did.
Yes. I'll
Wednesday.
tell you about that later. Maybe you'll come to our next Zinner dinner. Anyway, why don't we try this cap? Again, what do? We lift it, we swirl it, we sniff it. That's really pretty. What are you getting?
I'm getting a little bit of cherry,
Red or black?
blueberries.
What do you get?
Black
Red-
cherries.
Black cherry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Black
think so too.
cherries.
It's dark, it's deep.
Yeah, dark fruits, blueberries, I think.
That's really pretty. I work with some people. I work with 32 judges that work with me at the competition, and there's a couple of them that we have to go over and go, okay, stop smelling. It's time to sip it. They can just spend an hour smelling the wine. You get so much off the
Taking
nose.
nose and smelling.
Yeah. So before I did something that may have grossed you out. This is what I call your friend when you're tasting wine. Well, when you're doing a big tasting, if you're just drinking wine, having a glass of wine with dinner or lunch, or in our case, breakfast now and again, this is, when we taste a lot of wines, you need a spit cup. Because, especially at the competition where we taste up to 300 wines in a day, yes, 300 wines in a day, if you were to even swallow the smallest amount of the first 10, you're gone. You can't do anything after that. So what we do is we have taught ourselves well to spit. So if you're going to taste more than 3 or 4 wines, it's a really good idea to have this, or otherwise you won't taste the wine anymore. You will miss it. All right, let's try that. I gotta still talk to them, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's nice. When you taste it, do you feel that kind of, like your saliva's like being sucked out, like it's a dryness? Those are the tannins in the wine. And this has nice tannins in it. Sometimes you get tannins that are just so bitter and difficult to, it makes it difficult to enjoy the wine. This one, it does dry your mouth out a little bit.
Yeah.
Right, but it's not too bad.
No.
In fact, so this is a 2017. Tannins also offer a little bit of length for how long a wine can live, if you will. So this is what we're in 2021 now. This wine could probably live another 2 or 3, maybe 4 years.
And it also has a nice acidity. I
It
think.
does have a nice acidity to
If
it.
you feel your mouth a little bit watering, that's acidity.
Yes.
On the wine. So,
All right, let's eat something. I said before, I think the eggplant would go really, really well
Yeah.
with this. Well, let me give that a try. All right, not too much. Oh, it actually softens the wine. So take a sip of your wine, then take a bite of it and think about it for a minute. What are you getting on it? What are you smelling on it? What do you feel from it? What does it taste like? Then take a bite of the eggplant. And then you put it up to your nose. It actually softens the wine. Those little bit of tannins, that little bit of acid you got on the nose actually softens
Yes.
up. Food and wine is so much fun. Do it every day.
It's delicious, yes.
So, something to know about wines too. When you're shopping for wine, for example, if you're looking for a Cabernet, first of all, if it says Cabernet Sauvignon on the label, it means there is at least 75% Cabernet in there. They could have almost anything else in there. Legally, you can
In
have
California.
in California, sorry, in the U.S.
In the U.S.
In the U.S., you can put up to 25% of Syrah, Zin, Merlot, Malbec, any other grape you want to do. And sometimes, and they won't even tell you, you won't know about it. Even if you go on the website, sometimes they don't tell you. But what it does is certain wines give different characteristics to, certain grapes give a different characteristic to the wine. So Cabernet is generally a pretty harsh wine, it can be. So sometimes they soften it up by putting some Merlot in it. Sometimes it doesn't have enough of a cherryness to it, like you tasted the black cherry,
Yes.
right? Sometimes that might be missing. If they add some Cabernet Franc, which has cherry notes to it, that would bring that flavor out. Nothing wrong with that at all. If you don't get 100, it looks like 100%, that's okay. If you like it, you know what, if you like it, it doesn't matter what it is.
Yes.
But this one's really nice. I like it a lot. I think, do we have a hard cheese here? Is there a hard? Actually, let's check this one. This one worked with the Sauvignon Blanc, but let's try it with the Cab. See what we think. Well, it's a nice dry cheese. Cabernet goes really well with dry, like an aged cheddar cheese. That might even be one. Oh my God. It's so much fun to do this. You got to do this.
Yeah.
Right?
Try the different cheeses and see what you think.
Delicious. So we've got a lot of different kinds of foods on this plate. So you want to play with that a little bit. You want to check out the goat cheese again. I think the goat cheese I would stick. But there's a fig jelly here. You know what would be fun? Take this cheese and dip it into your fig jelly. Just a little bit. And try that with the Cab. It brings the acid back up. Now put your nose in your glass. So Cabernet, there's a Cabernet Day. So there's a wine calendar, and the wine calendar has dates for all different kinds of things. Rosé month, for example, is June, which, by the way, we're having a rosé competition and a big event called 50 Shades of Pink. So if you're interested, I'd love to tell you all about that later. Anyway, Cabernet is it's on the Thursday before Labor Day, so that's actually coming up. Oh, we didn't talk about Sauvignon Blanc.
Oh yeah.
Sauvignon
It's
Blanc.
May 3rd.
May 3rd.
Sauvignon Blanc Day, yeah.
So Sauvignon Blanc Day is May 3rd. So
Soon.
yeah, coming up. What? Oh no, we passed it already. You blew it. We blew it. I'm sorry. We should have told you sooner. But Labor Day, right before Labor Day, the Thursday before Labor Day is Cabernet Day. So great time. Get all your friends together, buy some Outlook Cabernet, and enjoy it. Do some chases. Taste all these different foods. Try them with the wines. There's no right or wrong. Just so you know, if it tastes good, if it works for you, you can't go wrong with it. I probably wouldn't do certain things with others, like marshmallows and Cabernet. I'm not 100% convinced, but dark chocolate works, right?
And we have dark
And we have some chocolate right here. Want to try that? Or you're not ready for that yet?
Soon.
Soon.
Let's try a little bit more of this.
Let's try a little bit more. What do you want to try?
The falafel.
Sure. I'll split one with you. All right, we're sharing a falafel. So vegetable, fried. That's a little dry. I'm going to do that falafel, and I'm going to take a piece of the red pepper with it. Moisten it up a little bit. Try the Cab. We've lost the acidity, yeah. So change it now. It just got softer.
Yeah, it changes the wine now.
I like this Cab. They did a nice job with this Cab. It
It brings a little bit of the spiciness of the cab.
And there, yeah, there's a
Falafel, I
little
think,
spiciness in here, and the spiciness in the falafel. You want to try to keep your wine and your cheese compatible. So we tasted it. We wanted to find the right wines to have for this tasting. And there's a wine shop called Hollywood Discount Liquors. It's in Hollywood on US 1, conveniently located for all of us. And I met with the owner, Shaker, and we tasted a few different wines. And he was kind enough to bring Ed Blakely, who's with Quintessential Wines. And Ed brought several wines to taste. And we chose this one because we thought everything about it was perfect. It was the right price, it was from the right area, it was a great combination to have with food. And again, you can get this at Hollywood Discount Liquors, and I can't remember how much it was, but it was really reasonable. I think it was like around $30 or less, which is amazing to get a good quality cab in that price category. So I don't know if Ed's here, but if you are, Ed, good job. Thank you. And Shaker, thank you too. So we're having such a good time that we're going to pour a little more. And if you have just a little bit in your glass, why don't you fill that up again? And let's all cheers each other. This is fun. I like
Cheers.
Wine. Cheers. We're going to go for the chocolate in a little while. But for now, I think Phil's going to play for us again. Would you please, Phil? Your music is fantastic. Here's Phil.
Thank you, Sherry. I hope you all are enjoying your wines and enjoying the evening. I've got one more song for you, and this is by one of the greatest composers of jazz music and American music, the great Duke Ellington. And this is entitled, "It Don't Mean a Thing If It Ain't Got That Swing." Thanks, and take it away, Joy.
Wow. Thank you so much, Phil. I had no idea that you had that amazing talent. So thank you again. And now back to Sherry.
So I know that I often will go like this. I'm pretty good at swirling. I've been doing it like my whole life since I was like 12. Don't tell anybody. But what swirling the wine is really important because you want to open up the wine. You want to get the nuances to come out. And that's how you do it. Air is only good with wine when you're aerating. When you're aerating it, okay? So you're putting a little air in here like this. You want to get that going. If you can't, start here. Start on the ground. It's all on the wrist. Watch. It's just, I'll move the water. Move my food.
Make sure you hold it by the stem.
Always hold it by the stem. That's right. Why?
Because you don't want to warm up the wine. And you have more room to swirl the wine so it doesn't spill out of your glass.
So we don't want to warm up the wine with our hand, and we also don't want our hand have oils on them and they have smells on them. And sometimes if you do that, it'll come up into your nose, and then you miss all the little stuff that you could get on the wine. But anyway, let's swirl it. If you can not picking it up yet, put it down here. Look, swirl it around like that. Come on, you too, do it. Swirl it around, and then you put it up. And oh my God, you get so much nose on that. It's just so nice. So another reason we've been toasting, and I know a lot of people will toast like that, but this part of the glass is really delicate, and I'm not going to do it, but if we were to get excited, let's say we're on our second bottle, and we ding, we can wind up with glass in our wine, and it sucks to have to pull the glass out to drink the wine, because we don't throw wine away, right? That's alcohol abuse. No, kidding. But what we do is we go, here, you can do that hard, right? The bottom of the glass is heavy, it's stronger, right? We're not going to crack it there, and it sounds really good too.
Sharon, you forgot to talk about the water. Why do we have water here?
Oh my God, it spilled. We have water. Water is also, just like the spit cup is your friend, water is your friend. Water is a great way to cleanse your palate between tastings. So if you're going from, let's say, one Cabernet to another, or a Sauvignon Blanc to a Cabernet, if you take a sip of water in between, it cleanses your palate. It gets it ready for that. But it gets it ready, but then I also like to take, like if I'm going to cleanse from Sauvignon Blanc, I'll drink a little water. I'll take the cab, I'll put a little bit on my tongue, I'll spit it out, and then I'll drink my cab again. But it's a great palate cleanser. It also keeps you hydrated. Very important. The more, you should almost do ounce for ounce, water for wine. That way, when you wake up in the morning, you'll be happy instead of sad that you had so much. Just saying.
Yes.
And then we wanted to do one more thing. Do we want to have a little chocolate?
Yes.
I think we want a chocolate. All right. All right, let's do a little chocolate. So, I am a proponent of dessert wine. I like it. We're not having any today. Cabernet is great with dark chocolate. It's great. It really is. It's the end of a meal. If you don't feel like bake a cake or have a cheese or do whatever, a little bit of dark chocolate. We are fortunate today because we have more than dark chocolate. We have chocolate cookies. We have vanilla wafers. We have marshmallow. I'm not a marshmallow person. We have graham crackers, and even fun too here, strawberries dipped in chocolate. What's more decadent? I'll do that, or the cookie.
I'll do a cookie.
You do a cookie. I'll do a strawberry. All right, go. I'll go. Oh, you get the napkin ready too. All right. That's nice. That works. I can do this. Good stuff. How'd yours work?
Perfect.
Hey, you guys, thank you so much for joining us.
And I'm live. So sorry, Sherry, we didn't mean to cut you off. Is that we were so eager actually to get going. So thank you so much again. You and Marina were a great team, so informative and super fun actually to watch. So thank you, and a cheers to you as well. And then Phil Dunlap, you're amazing, unbelievable, talented person. So thank you very much for you volunteering your time tonight as well. It was magnificent, your two songs. So thank you. For those of you who'd like to buy additional Outlot wines, you can, and I really haven't had that much, promise, is that if anybody would like to buy any Outlot wines, as Sherry said, is all you need to do is either call Hollywood Discount Liquor or then you can visit Hollywood Discount Liquors, which is located here in Hollywood on US 1, right next to Jack's Diner. And then they'll order those for you. So with that is, I would like to then announce then who the auction winners are tonight. And on item number 1, which is the basket of 3 bottles of red wine that was donated by Ed Blakely, thank you, that's Centennial Wines, is Shelley DeMarco. So thank you very much, Shelley. She won with a high bid of $85. So thank you. And then item number 2, which is a liter of Camus wine, Fred, $130. So thank you very much, Shelley and Fred, for bidding on our auction items. We very much appreciate it. I'd like to thank you all again for supporting the Art and Culture Center. Thank you to our sponsors. Thank you to our ticket buyers. We very much appreciate your support. We need your support and are so very, very grateful that you're here with us this evening. I'd also like to thank again Sherry, Marina, and Phil for being with us. And then also to the great Art and Culture Center team. They're the ones who actually delivered your wine and food right to your office or to your home. So thank you very much to all the team that then supported us by delivering the food. And then a big shout out to the event team who made this happen. That's happening actually live right now. And I've got Yvette Wasserman, who's behind the scenes. She's here in this distance learning lab with me, our design and web manager. Thank you, Yvette. And then we have Jackie Ramirez, our Administrative and Development Coordinator. And we also have Leo Sarmiento, our Communications and Partnerships Director, who then worked with me. So we were the awesome foursome. So we look forward to seeing you at our next fundraiser or an event at our gallery or education program. And thank you so much again for enjoying the evening with us, and cheers.